because I ended the other live, so you can't run the two live
Yeah,
streams
you can't.
together.
I guess maybe on a free account you're not going to be able
Yeah.
to run two different lives simultaneously. Hello, hello, Mrs. Lieutenant, and hello everyone in the audience. Those of you who joined us, thank you for being here. Sorry,
Thank
I'm actually
you. For...
taking your thunder. That should be your introduction.
You're fine. You're fine.
Go for it. Go for it. Make it intro.
So the intro is welcome, welcome, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, explorers. We are here to explore. The topic, I'm not going to be revealing that until the beginning of the stream when we do this every Thursday. Hopefully it's going to be every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. UK time until 10 p.m. UK time. So an hour and a half of me and select guests on the panel, not an open panel, exploring an information, a topic, an idea, something random that we may or
Nice.
may not know something about, just to use our critical thinking skills and for something different on YouTube.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Could you do me a
yeah,
favor? Could you give me the link of your channel, because for some reason I can't seem to find it amongst all this.
do you want the
For this
channel
stream.
or
Yeah, for this
this
stream that we're
stream?
doing, because I want to repost it, but I can't find the stream on my
Okay, let me put it
lists.
YouTube. Oh, I haven't muted that over there. You got it now?
Is this private or where did you send it?
I sent it to where I sent the link for this for Restream.
Oh, my X account. All
Yeah.
right, all right, all right. I will get it that way then. I thank you. I thank you. Yeah, I wanted to repost it and sort of redo it, so spread the word a little bit. But I couldn't find it. Yes, and it sounds like my microphone's working, so I'm coming through. Okay.
Yep, I can hear you fine.
All right.
Could we get
So
some ones in the audience that they can see and hear both Banksy and myself? Some ones in the live chat, please. I just need to make sure this stream is set up in Rumble as well.
I see people. I see dead people walking around like regular people.
Look, dead people. I think they're dead on YouTube. Is that
Their
too
soul
heavy?
is dead for sure.
The lights aren't on, matey.
Yeah, they're
And there's definitely no
they
one there. Right.
dead on
So
the inside.
our other guest might still turn up. It's the wonderful Ravioli, remember, from the Big Nose of London channel?
Oh yes.
I've invited him. He might turn up, he might not. Um, so I don't know. Shall we just get right into it?
Yeah. I mean, if we're not 100% sure that he will show up, then I think it might be just best for us to just start, and then because the audience is just simply, I mean, what are we going to do? The audience are going to get bored, so we might as well just start talking, and then drop him. He'll drop in
Yeah, we can
along the
share the
way.
link with him. But when I share the link in the live chat, people are going to have to remember that this is not an open panel. Um, right. So
Yeah.
my topic is I've just put on screen something ready to start us with the topic.
Nice.
A little video, and it's about vitamin D. I'm going to call it vitamin D versus hormone D, right?
Mm.
But I mean, this could go on for a number of weeks. My idea is that we start talking about this tonight, exploring vitamin D versus hormone D, whatever
Mm.
information we come across, Banksy, we'll explore it. And if we don't come to any conclusion, then not next week, but another week, we'll come back to where we left off if we found more information or not, and we'll discuss it further then. But next week, I'll start a new topic.
Okay.
All right.
Nice,
So that gives us at
nice.
least 2 weeks to explore it in our own time. No pressure, because this is just like people sitting having a natter talking about it. It's not like, we have to become experts or anything like that. We're not at school or anything. So you have your own life, I have my own life. So just at your own in your own time, like look into it a bit more, and then we come back with a
Sure.
bit more information to thrash out. There's ravioli. Let me get. You are coming up, aren't you, ravioli?
Where is Mr. Ravioli? Ah, there he is.
There he is.
Revolution apostasy.
Apostasy. You see, that's why I called him ravioli. Oh, knee legs is here.
Yes.
Right, there's the
We got
link,
some
ravioli.
people over in Rumble as well. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Lord Justice is here. Nice one. Yeah. So that's Credence Gold 13. I'll be plugging his channel in a bit as well. He has some music. There's some music channels that I've become friends and acquaintances with in Rumble. They do some like
Mm.
pretty wild stuff. Like some of them are Americans, some of them are Canadians, some people in Europe, and they've got some really interesting music. They're very, very creative, more creative than myself. Like they're doing things from
Mm.
scratch. I use AI. Um,
Oh yeah,
but
those
yeah,
guys are like actually producing their own stuff, like
yeah, real
old-fashioned
stuff.
ways.
Yeah, yeah. And it's very interesting. I've never heard their stuff before. But here comes ravioli. There you are, ravioli. How are you?
How
Oh, hello,
are ya?
Lieutenant. All right. Hi, hello, Banksy.
Hello, mate. How's things?
I'm all right. I think it's a bit. The weather's very grim here. I've been going through a few things here, but yeah, we've had power cuts and
Oh, you
stuff.
had power cuts. Oh my god.
Yeah, we
Oh
had
dear.
electricians here and other things. It's been a bit depressing. And then found
Damn.
out one of my friends is unwell and stuff. But otherwise, I'm all right though. And I said to Lieutenant, I come and yeah, just if I've got something to add, I'll add and I'll listen. And yeah, I hope you guys
Nice
are well.
one. Mate, are you in England or are you actually outside of England, but you're north or something?
Somerset.
Okay, okay. Because yeah, I heard up north was gonna snow. It's gonna get really bad, but in London so far it's not nothing different really.
Yeah, it's like flooded here. We're quite near the levels.
Oh, damn.
It's pretty. It's not good.
Well, on that happy note,
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, no. It's like that's
He's
yeah, no,
our
I'm
little
sorry, mate.
West
Sorry to
Country
hear.
bumpkin, aren't you, ravioli?
something like that. Yeah, I haven't done a stream for a while actually. I haven't been on any platforms for a long, well, man, over a week. I think I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is not going to be like anything too intense, I hope. I mean, I don't know, I can be pretty intense when I get into things, but I try not to be. There's no pressure, no one has to know anything. We're just going to look at some information and chat about it, explore it, and if we come to conclusions about anything, great. If we don't, it's fine. We can continue with the discussion on this particular topic, not next week, but the week after, because next week I'll start a new topic. So I like to give us at least 2 weeks of possibly doing a spot of research and gathering more information before we come back to the topic um, to discuss it further. So, thank you, both Hafez TV, also known as Banksy Style Live. I'll be dropping his links in a bit. And Ravioli for joining me. This is new for me. Um, my first little experiment on my channel of talking, not just playing music. So let's hope it all goes well.
Well, you had
Um,
me on. We don't need to know anything.
yes, you don't need to know anything.
You had me at that.
The reason is, even though, like, obviously I'm picking the topic, so I do have stuff in my mind about the topic, but I'm looking at it from scratch and wanting you to do the same. That's why I'm not sharing with you what the topic is until you get here. Obviously, when we continue the conversation in a couple of weeks' time, you will already know about the topic. But to start off with, it's so we both come in with fresh eyes, fresh mind, and we discuss anything that comes to mind from that point. We're all starting from relatively the same place. There's no biases or anything like that, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I just need to make sure I'm public in Rumble. There, I am. I just accidentally made it private. So what it is, as I was saying just before you got here, Ravioli, I'm going to call this topic vitamin D versus hormone D. What do we really know? So I want to start this with a short video. I'm hoping I'm not going to get a strike or anything, but I'm going to go for it anyway. There's a guy called Medman. He's only had his channel since 2024. And as far as I know, he works in the NHS. From one of the other videos, possibly it might be this one that I watched. And it was watching this video, I think it was this one, that gave me the idea to do this. Why don't we talk about these things as a community, sit and contemplate them, because there's loads of videos where they're saying, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. You need to do this, you need to do that. And they all have their own biases and whatever their reasons are. So why don't we just look at it and explore it and take apart bits that people say here and there and form our own decisions and opinions on things. So let's press play.
Vitamin D
Yes, I am sharing.
annoys me, and I'll tell you why in just a moment, but let me start with a slightly controversial statement. Everybody, everywhere, should be considered vitamin D deficient. It's true, vitamin D deficiency is the most common vitamin deficiency across the world. So it's an important healthcare topic we need to take seriously. For the past 13 years as a doctor, I've helped people achieve their health goals. And today, what I want to cover is why vitamin D is so important, how to know if you're actually deficient, and how to make sure you get enough. So why does it annoy me? Well, picture this. You go to your doctor and this is what they say. I need to tell you something. Smoking is bad for you and can cause lung cancer and heart disease. No shock, right? But what if they said this? I need to tell you something. Vitamin D deficiency is increasing your risk of autoimmune disease, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, neurocognitive dysfunction. Most people's reaction is, wait, what? Current guidelines are that everybody should be taking vitamin D. But why is it that we all know we should wear a seatbelt when we're driving? We all know that smoking and alcohol is bad. But so many of us don't know about vitamin D. I think it's a failure of public health to actually address it and teach us. So I'm going to take this opportunity to try and raise awareness about vitamin D.
I'm just pausing it there. Did you know about the potentials, guys, of what vitamin D deficiency can lead to?
Yeah, I mean, I knew like rickets and osteoporosis and things like that. That's all I knew. Like, yeah, bone-related things.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody I think in the background started talking. Yeah. I mean, I kind of had some ideas about vitamin D deficiency can have a lot of different issues, and I've been taking vitamin D supplements for a long time now. I'm not entirely sure, as I said, which ones. This is the problem. It's like, which ones do you really get? Which ones can you trust, though? The only thing I can trust is that little ball of fire in the sky, but we don't get a lot of that over here, so I have to keep taking vacations just to top up some vitamin D.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear that he said that it could lead to autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
I've
that
not heard
one
that.
I hadn't heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to it then.
Firstly, vitamin D isn't really even a vitamin. It's actually a hormone. It's something that our body produces that affects the way that our cells function. Now, the most famous function of vitamin D is its effect on calcium. It helps our gut absorb calcium, that thing that's really important for our bones. So being very deficient in vitamin D can lead to painful bendy, brittle bones, conditions that are known as rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. But here's what people don't realize. Vitamin D plays a role in almost every cell in our bodies. Look at the muscles, for example. Low levels of vitamin D can make our muscles weak, tired, painful, or even cause them to twitch a little bit. Vitamin D even affects our mood. There are higher rates of depression among people who are vitamin D deficient. It's also essential for our immune system. It's probably part of the reason that we all get sicker in winter. We have less vitamin D, our immune system isn't as strong, and it leads to these problems. But there's also evidence to say the flip, that autoimmune conditions where our immune system is overactive is also more common in vitamin D deficiency. And here's the big one. Vitamin D has a role in helping cells divide. So when we're deficient in it, there is an increased risk of things like diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. So clearly, it's important. But how do you know if you're getting enough?
So he's touched on it being a hormone, not actually a vitamin, right? But there was a few things that, like he said something about immunity. I'm going to make a note of that because I want to look further into that because I'm not convinced on the virus argument. You know, that there's evidence that viruses exist. I think I might have had this conversation with you before, Banksy.
Okay, yeah. He's coming from a position of science,
Yeah.
and evidence, and I guess you're coming from some other position. So, so
You put that so nicely.
So maybe that's why you guys might differ on the whole virus thing. Yeah.
All right, we'll go back to it. Mute yourself now, right?
Lieutenant, I'll make one
That's
comment
enough.
there, though. There's one thing, like,
Yeah,
you're
go
saying
on.
it's a hormone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have to look into that. I never knew that. I never knew there was, I never knew that.
Yeah, you thought it was just a vitamin that you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
take a pill, that you can get it in certain foods, whole foods, without actually needing to supplement and all the rest of it. This, because they sell it to you like it's actually a vitamin. But
Yeah.
no, it's a hormone. I mean, I've done a little bit of search engine search. Is D a hormone or a vitamin? And there's some articles there that have come up, like PubMed and stuff like that. So we can look into that. We'll see how far we get discussing this, like just going through this small
There was
video.
another thing. I remember when my dad was sick, the doctor in the hospital, like, because it was something to do with like circulation, heart. I remember he was saying it had something to do with that too, like cardiovascular stuff. I mean, is that true? Have you ever heard that before? Vitamin D can benefit those systems.
Well, it depends on actually. I mean, I don't know, right, whether hormone D has got anything to do with the functioning of the cardiovascular system directly or indirectly. I dare say any deficiency of anything, like where you're lacking something that your body needs, it's going to have a knock on effect all around the body. And so eventually, if not immediately, if not directly, it will have an impact, won't it?
Yeah.
I assume. But like Banksy says, I might not be looking at it from a place of science and evidence.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So
No. I was only talking about the viruses. I'm not talking about vitamin D or hormone D. That was.
you don't need the science and the evidence for that.
Well, I mean, you would. Yeah, that would be kind of cool to go that way. But I'm not. I don't know enough about the this whole thing about vitamin or the D hormone, whether we can actually take it in a pill. Essentially, I mean, I think this what you guys are saying is, can we just take a pill for this, or is it more than just taking a pill? We need actually, food and dietary supplements rather than just a pill every day. Because I literally take a pill. I'm not joking. I just buy pills of that vitamin D and I just pop one of those.
Would autoimmune diseases be things like arthritis or like thyroid issues?
It could be even hay fever and various
Right.
other, because
Yeah.
hay fever is an autoimmune response.
Yeah. Not my medical knowledge isn't great.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, when I started getting hay, because I never had hay fever in my life until I started getting hay fever in my 30s.
Yeah.
I talked to my doctor, and he says, yeah, but basically your body thinks that the pollens are viruses, so it essentially gives you the cold symptoms in
Yeah.
order to eject those viruses. So you get, runny eyes, you get sore throat, you get sneezing and coughing,
Yeah.
all the symptoms essentially what you get when you have a cold,
Hmm.
because your body's trying to eject this foreign object. It's an autoimmune response to pollen or cat. In fact, I have cat. I'm now also allergic to cats because there's something in cat fur
Oh
and
wow.
some
Well,
dogs as well,
yeah.
which triggers my autoimmune
I think I
response.
got an allergy to the grass pollen, and as a tree, is it birch tree or beet? I can't remember one of those trees. There's one now. That gets me a bit. But...
Yeah, allergies are autoimmune responses.
Ah, okay.
Essentially, your body is
Huh.
reacting to this thing that it sees as foreign, and it detects it as some sort of virus. Well, I mean, if viruses existed, of course, those illusionary things called viruses. Um, I don't want to come across as a
Human.
antiviral bigot or something. Viral phobia.
I think I've got viral trauma now, just like that, Islamic trauma. But yeah, so right, okay. So there's a lot of interesting ways that this can go. Just starting from vitamin D, I'm now thinking, right, I'm going to have to look into viruses. I'm going to have to look into immunity. I'm going to have to look into autoimmune diseases. When it comes down to allergies, I thought that was something to do with the histamines or something.
Yeah. Yeah. You take antihistamines, don't you? Is that right? To treat it, or,
Well,
or
my understanding of antihistamines are they're suppressants. Essentially,
yeah.
they'll suppress your body's autoimmune reaction to hay fever, for example. They're not actually terribly good for you on a regular basis. Although we all sometimes during summertime I take Benadryl like
Mm,
Smarties,
mm.
but yeah, they're not really actually good for you to be taking on a regular basis. But yeah, that is what they do. They suppress your body's reactions, which sort of gives you a little bit of relief.
Ah, now where have I heard something in one of these videos about carnivore and stuff like that, where they talk about certain organ meats, in particular, I think it's kidney, that prevents and can turn it back like an allergy if you consume those kinds of meats. So that's why you can now get freeze dried kidneys in a capsule, freeze dried lamb's liver in a capsule, freeze dried liver and heart in a capsule, like very
Wow.
good quality, high grade. Because if you can't stomach consuming the organ meats yourself, you can take them like that and it can
Mm.
roll things back. So, isn't it just a deficiency in something that's in those particular animal products as opposed to an autoimmune response?
Well,
Mm.
I can tell you that Michaela what's
Peterson,
Peterson, she just recently released actually a video on the fact that after 8 years of being on the hardcore carnivore diet, she has now started to introduce other foods in her diet because
yes.
she feels she's in remission now. So maybe yeah, I mean, there's definitely something there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I watched that video and I shared it as well. I think I've shared it on my community posts bit. It's very good news because she didn't want to do lion diet forever, but she
Hmm.
certainly didn't expect to be on it as long as 8 years. But thankfully, she's now coming out of it because she was feeling a bit trapped with that. But that's
Yeah.
another topic. Let's get back to uh, vitamin
Well, when you
D.
mentioned carnivore, I thought that might be that kind of slipped right in with that. But
Yes,
as
yes.
far as liver and kidneys, now I'm not a fan of kidneys. Kidneys are a little bit tough and not great. But I've had liver, like chicken liver or just liver, barbecued liver,
Yeah.
pretty much most of my childhood.
Yeah.
Because we Iranians, we eat like everything on a sheep, and I've never had, like, I think some people have like a bit of a repulse sort of reaction to liver and kidneys and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for me it's been great.
Yeah, but
Although
like, see, we
British,
used to eat,
you
like,
got. Oh,
yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, we usually fried, like, my dad, we did like a fry up, right? Like a traditional fry up, right? Yeah, we'd have fried kidney, fried liver.
Yeah. It sounds like your mic there, Ravioli, went a bit
Yeah, roboty. You're
bit
roboting like
robotic.
crazy
Yes.
right now.
My mic isn't
Uh,
fresh. I need to get a better
it
one.
might be the connection. I think it's the signal.
Is it? If I put it,
You're
is that better? You hear me a bit clearer now?
Nah,
No.
you're essentially R2D2 at this point.
What if you drop out and come back in? We'll wait for you before we go back.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I mean, in British food, steak and kidney pies were a very common thing. Although I
That's
actually
what I
don't
was
see
going to
them as
say.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah, steak and kidney was a massive seller when my mom had a fish and chip shop back in the day. So you guys used to eat, these things regularly. I think our diets have become worse by, this is the irony. Someone like Mr. Piers Morgan, who says, "Oh, I love my curries. The food in Britain has become so much better with immigration," but actually, in your curries you don't have steak tikka masalas. Well, you can have meat, but you don't have liver and kidney tikka masalas anymore. You guys, everybody's eating all these like Thai and Chinese and Indian food, but you're not eating your own traditional food, which actually included steaks, kidneys and livers and hearts and all sorts of.
Well, the
other.
thing is, we're not eating foods that grow here naturally and therefore are not for what our bodies need, right? And therefore, we have this malnutrition, this nutritional imbalance, and all these deficiencies, which is leading to type 2 diabetes, obesity, and all the rest of it, right? So it really hasn't been good for us to
Yeah,
bring all
like
these different cuisines
burgers
in,
and
as much as I
pizzas.
love them.
Yeah, burgers and pizzas simply. I mean, if you look at what is inside, I mean, your average big burger joints, the meat is virtually non-existent. It's thin as wafer, and the rest is just bread and lettuce. Essentially, is what you're filling up on. Then if you buy a decent burger, like from one of these posher chains, you might get a decent piece of meat in it. But how often are you really going to do that? Most people are not going to shell out 20 quid for a burger.
Yeah.
And pizza, I'll be honest, pizza is exceedingly low in nutrition. People don't realize how terrible a pizza actually is, because it's essentially cheese on toast with a few bits on it. That's really what a pizza is. It's just cheese on toast. But it's just it's just great marketing from the Italians to make it out as if it's something so much more fabulous.
I never feel well when eating a pizza. I always feel
It's
like
very, very
indigestion,
bad for
heartburn.
you.
Yeah, I feel sicker, but yeah, I never feel well eating one.
Yeah, because it's predominantly refined carbs. That's what the flour is.
bread,
And then
yeah.
you've got, some pretty low grade cheese on there. Then you've got tomatoes, which are nightshades, which also are full of toxins, as delicious as they are. It's a slow creep and attack against your gut lining. And then whatever else you put on there.
Yeah, but what I mean is everything else. If you actually look at your average pizza, unless you're getting an absolute just meat feast, which is no other vegetables, just nothing but meat, which you may get a morsel of, to be honest, pretty. Because I used to own a pizza shop, so I know what goes in those.
Wow.
And you're getting a lot of crappy processed meat. Now, I never used to buy processed chicken. I cooked my own chicken and used actual chicken breast. But everything else, your salami, your pepperoni, your ham, what other meats are there? Sometimes ground beef. Admittedly, we made our own ground beef as well. But most of the other meat on a pizza is processed crap meat. It's not good meat. You're not getting chunks of steak on prime rib steak on a pizza. You're getting the worst, crappiest, sloppy meat possible. The ham, oh my God, you don't want to know what the ham comes from. If I tell you how the ham is made, this is one of those moments where you don't want to meet the cow because you want to eat the burger. half the stuff on a pizza is terrible stuff. So, as I
Yeah.
say, if you're a regular pizza eater, you're not getting much nutrition. You're
Well,
actually malnutrition.
just like
Yeah.
the heartburn, basically, and yeah, indigestion. He's horrible. I never felt well ever eating one ever.
I
No.
mean, on a regular basis, if you're doing it once in a while, that's fine. But if that's your staple, if because I don't know if you guys remember, there was a show called Super Size, not a show, a film, a
Yep,
documentary film, Super Size Me, and it was all about McDonald's.
yep, I remember that.
But the guy in that show, in that documentary, said, I know friends of mine who eat their 3 meals a day comes from from outside takeaway foods. They're either even eating a takeaway of like a McDonald's breakfast for breakfast. They're having some kind of burger or sandwich for dinner, sorry, lunch, and then order a pizza or Chinese for dinner time. Mostly pizza, or some variant of that, or KFC. And all of these things, you're just eating fast food 3 times a day, every day. And they are, be honest, these are terrible things for you. These are treats. These are things you should eat once, maybe a week, once a month, to be honest.
Well, I think, we're associating the wrong word there because you're putting treat with something unhealthy.
Well,
But yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
pizza's
I'm
not
saying
good.
something that is rare, but it's like a treat. I mean, cakes and sweets and things. People used to consider those as treats, but we pretty much eat them all day, every day now. But those are treats which you do on a rare occasion. And if you want to, have a Big Mac once a month, if you really fancy it, great. Don't get me wrong, I'm addicted to this crap. I love I was raised on Big Macs. I was raised on McDonald's. I'm not even remotely. My mum adores McDonald's. She absolutely adores it. When we hit our feet hit the ground in this country, the first meal was a McDonald's. The very first meal in Britain was a McDonald's, and it's been a constant, meal source for us throughout most of my life. So I'm not saying I'm not saying this as someone who doesn't eat it. I love the shit, but I know what it is,
Yeah,
and I know how terrible it is.
the
Yeah.
Banksy was telling in that thing, the Super Saiyan. I can remember it. I think he had, from what I remember, it was like 9 Big Macs. He had was that
Well, no, this was another guy who was addicted to Big Macs. Although he wasn't very, I think he
oh
was in the show. But this guy himself, the main documentary maker, the premise was he would eat McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for
yeah.
I forgot how long, a couple of
Was it
months
a
or
month?
something.
Was it 1 month?
Yeah, it was like a month or so. And but every time the trick was every time the person serving him asked, "Would you like to supersize that?" He has to say yes. He can't refuse a supersize offer. So that's why the film was called Supersize
But
Me.
didn't he put on, like, what was it? It was nearly 2 stone in the month.
Yeah,
Put in
and
weight,
he
like,
started having major health issues.
yeah, like liver damage and thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he had to get a full medical check
that's
before
right.
the documentary, and then he had to check him, have a full medical check after. And yes, he was starting to have, fatty liver. He's starting to have, kidneys and other sort of. It was like a starting stage. It wasn't
Yeah.
like he was into it, but the checks showed that yes, he's starting to get all of these things. So if he continued, for long periods of time, he would have major health issues.
So fatty liver, as far as I know, fatty liver, fatty pancreas, any of your organs that are storing fat in the tissue on the inside of your organs is not designed to store fat. So if you're storing fat in there, it leads to type 2 diabetes, as far as I know,
Mm,
and that comes from consuming too much carbs and sugars,
yes.
because your body, it's got too much of that going in, so it goes into an emergency mode and stores it as fat. And if it's not storing it as visceral fat around your belly, which would be more beneficial because at least it's not going on the inside of your organs, if it's not going to store there, then it'll store it on the inside of the internal organs, and that's when
Mm,
a whole host of
Yeah.
serious health problems, terminal health problems, can come in. So
yes. Yes.
yeah, that's serious, serious stuff. It's reversible, but like on the mind, on the psyche, it's not easy to come
No.
Mm,
out of that, because it's like a perpetual dopamine hit chasing thing as well,
Yes.
because you get that high from the sugar rush, you know, when you consume the carbs. Oh, you feel so good, and then you drop. So you need more, and then you drop, and it's just, yeah, it spirals out of control. It becomes an addiction, sorry, very, very quickly. But I want to leave that because I almost went into a thought that I'm having about dopamine and addictions. We could do that as a topic on another day. Let's go back to our video, sorry, because it is about almost 9:10. And we're on this bit, are you getting enough? We're back to vitamin D and hormone D, guys, not anything else.
The safest approach to this is to say to yourself, well, most people are deficient, so me and you, we're probably deficient too. Because I don't want you to take false reassurance from something like, well, I feel fine, so I must have enough vitamin D. Because vitamin D deficiency is often silent, meaning it doesn't actually cause symptoms. But when it does cause symptoms, they can be vague and surprising, causing things like constant fatigue, aches and pains, muscle weakness, getting every cold going, feeling low or depressed, even hair loss and slow wound healing. Look, the only way to know for sure is with a blood test. But here's the controversial bit. I don't even think you need one. Why? Well, because vitamin D deficiency is so common, you can safely assume you probably are deficient without a blood test. And this is why the UK guidelines are that everybody should be taking vitamin D supplements, particularly during the winter months. So, how do you top up? Well, there are 3 main ways to get vitamin D: sunlight, food, and supplements. Sunlight is the most natural and effective way that our body can make vitamin D. When ultraviolet rays hit our skin, it triggers the process of converting cholesterol-type molecule into vitamin D, which goes around the body and does what it's going to do. But here's the problem. If you live in the UK, or anywhere with some sort of a gloomy winter, then the sun between October and March isn't strong enough to properly trigger that process of making vitamin D. Even in the summer when the sun is stronger and the days are longer, a lot of us don't get enough time out in the sun or expose enough skin to the sun, or we wear sunscreen, meaning we don't get enough of the sun to make enough vitamin D either. Now, some foods do contain vitamin D, but honestly, it's pretty hard to get enough vitamin D from food alone. It's present in oily fish like salmon and mackerel, egg yolks, some fortified foods like cereals and dairy products contain small amounts. But you'd really have to eat ridiculous amounts to reach optimal levels. Given how common deficiency is, supplements are the easiest way to make sure that you get enough vitamin D. But how much? Well, the NHS say that we should take 400 units a day, but here's the tricky funny thing. If you sit outside in the sun for about 20 minutes to half an hour, you could produce between 10 and 20,000 units. So what's with the disparity there? More on that in a minute. So now that we assume we're all deficient and we can't get enough from food, then we've got to take supplements. Then the next question is, what's the right amount of supplement to take? And can you take too much? So the NHS figure of 400 units a day, which is 10 micrograms, is quite a conservative figure, and it's probably enough to prevent severe deficiency. So it's the absolute minimum that we need. But we're probably safer taking a little bit more than that. So if 400 is a minimum, is there a maximum? Well, yes, you can, but you'd have to take big doses for long periods of time. I'm talking 10,000 units a day plus. And over long periods of time, it can lead to calcium accumulating inside your body, which can cause aches and pains and things like kidney stones. But here's the weird thing. Sitting outside with exposed skin in the summer can quite easily produce 10,000 units. So will that lead to kidney stones long term? Well, no, because the skin is different to the gut. The skin has a way of turning off vitamin D production when it's got enough. So you can't overdose on sunlight from a vitamin D perspective anyway. So the sweet spot for most people is 1,000 to 2,000 units a day. Safe, effective, and enough to keep your levels high during winter. So I think over time, vitamin D awareness is improving and more people are becoming aware of the importance of it. But it's always been overshadowed by a different vitamin, one that's more famous than it. One that's been claimed to slow aging, improve immunity, and cure illnesses. In fact, it's so popular that the industry is worth billions today. And its story is one that's full of controversy, bold claims, and a genius who changed the world forever. It's the story of vitamin C, something I've looked into and created this video here for you to have a look at. A very interesting story. I hope you enjoyed today's video and hopefully I'll see you over there. Thank you for watching.
All right. Now, one thing I didn't notice in this, which is, apart from it just says supplements, it didn't say, like, didn't give any recommendations on foods that are high in vitamin D. I was looking for that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done my own research on that, but I think that is something that we should look into. Like, we should be looking at it from scratch kind of thing. So we could look into that. What I found interesting is that he said you can't overdose from UV rays coming from the sun and thus your body converting that into hormone D. But you can overdose on the supplements. Now, the supplements, they, I think, consist of what you can get in the foods, but obviously you would have to consume a lot of the foods to get those tiny amounts that make up vitamin D, which they extract to make into supplements. Is that right? This is my assumption.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. I mean, the thing that's confusing me a little bit is like, what are the risks then? Like, what actually would happen to your body if you took too many supplements then? Like, what would go wrong?
Good question.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience. When I catch a cold, sometimes I superdose on a particular sort of levels of vitamins. I mean, it was just some crazy thing someone recommended once, which is just taking a ton of vitamins, especially C. But the problem with that is that, yes, you get bad kidney pains when you overtake vitamins. People are like, oh, there's the old adage that, oh, your body only uses up as much vitamins as it can possibly consume, and then it will you piss the rest out. That isn't actually true. You can take a lot of it, and it will still affect your kidneys. You get kidney pains for sure. I mean, I don't know about other issues, but I've had, like, when I had a cold and I wanted to super dose it out and get rid of it quickly, I ended up with, I'm like, oh, Christ, it feels like I've been in boxing and been getting hammered in my kidneys. Like, dude's just going to my body like all day long because my kidneys were really hurting. And then my friend said, yeah, because you're taking too much vitamins, idiot. Stop taking the vitamins. So I did. And it in a couple of days, it all went back to normal. So yeah, no, you can, for sure. That's a sign for me that I've taken too many. So I don't know what other things. I mean, I've never heard of anyone overdosing and dying of taking too many, like vitamin C and vitamin D. But like he said, your gut deals with things very differently to the way your skin deals with these things, and your other things. I've just been looking at foods just now, and it looks like eggs or egg yolks, white mushrooms, cod liver oil, salmon, cheese, fortified foods like fortified milk, yogurt, orange juice.
Have you got an article that you're looking at? Because you could screen share
it's just
that.
an image. Yeah, I can definitely screen share it. Sure, just bear with me. Let me get my stuff together.
Then we can all look at it.
I gotta, shut down a lot of tabs. A lot of history has to be cleared. There's a lot of work involved before I share my screen.
In case you share the wrong one. Oh
I'm
dear.
I'm joking. It's perfectly fine. The Epstein files have to be hidden.
Fine, honest, it's fine.
My flight list.
Oh,
It
man.
wasn't me.
I did not have sexual relations with that with that woman.
With that woman. Oh,
She
it's such a
just
giveaway, isn't it?
gave me
That woman.
fellatio. Yes, that does not count as sexual relations. Okay, so yeah, this was just an image. I just typed in Google foods, that have high vitamin D content, and of course sunshine is the number one there. But you got butter, you got cheeses, white mushrooms, egg yolks, cod liver oil, salmon, swordfish.
Swordfish.
Good luck getting hold of that.
I've heard swordfish is a very dirty thing to eat, like it's full of junk. The flesh on it isn't that good. My dad told me that.
I've never had it. Although there is another image that I found, this trout. So I suppose fish in general. It even says tinned tuna and sardines, but I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% certain. You should. I mean, you can eat tuna, okay, but I've heard that if you eat too much tinned tuna, it risks raising your mercury levels because the seas are not particularly good.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing.
I've heard that like wild fish, wild salmon and stuff like that, not the farmed fish, is good for you, and it's predominantly oily fish. I didn't know tuna was an oily fish.
I didn't think either, but I think you're right in the sense of salmons and trouts and stuff, because these are river fish rather than open sea. It's the open sea, which I've heard that because of a lot of the pollution in there and high levels of mercury, that sea fish are if you eat it too much, you could raise your mercury levels. But this was someone who said something to me. I'll
Banksy,
be
what
honest. I
happens
never-
if you have too much mercury? Sorry, what's the risk of too much mercury?
Mercury. Well, mercury in its metal form is poisonous. It's
Right,
very
okay.
poisonous to us. But I think things do have mercury in them in a very, very minute amount. But this is what I've heard, that sea fish, because of the pollutions, have high mercury levels in them compared to like river fish or farmed fish, because they don't swim, in the
I mean, we
open
go
sea.
down here to the beach and catch mackerel when you mackerel fishing down here.
But it's the open sea, isn't it?
Mackerel.
Or is it
Yeah.
the channel? No, you
Yeah,
guys are in the west.
Yeah, like the English Channel, I guess. Yeah,
Well, no, you're in the west, aren't you?
yeah. No, we
yeah,
go
West
like
Coast.
so. I don't know if you know. I don't know. Like trying to think. Do you like Lyme Regis way? I don't know. Bridport.
I don't.
Don't know these little towns.
Nah, I don't know those places. The thing is, I mean, I thought the channel was like Dover, and that's what I'm thinking. That.
Oh
that
yeah,
side
no,
of
yeah. I'm
things.
thinking like cross off. Well, no, more west, way more west. Yeah.
Oh, so
So-
ravioli, are you talking about the Irish channel?
No, I mean like if you like go like where we fish for mackerel. Like, if you went across, you'd be in France in about 3 hours on a boat.
Oh, okay. So no, that is the channel.
Yeah. And we catch mackerels, and and it's very nice. We barbecue it
Mackerels, yeah.
and fillet it and stuff there, and then we eat it kind of fresh out the sea. It's pretty
Nice.
It's
I
not
mean,
right. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I haven't researched the whole mercury thing from sea fish, but someone that said something a long time ago, because I was going on I was eating just tuna and a little bit of like sauce or something for lunch times, so that I can cut down on just trying to lose weight, essentially,
Yeah,
weight loss
yeah.
thing. Go to the gym, come back, have a tin of tuna, and then that's it. Just keep that. Get yourself a bit of energy to keep you going, but not too much, so that I can lose weight. But someone said to me, yeah, just be a bit wary. Don't eat too much tuna because
Right.
of that. But this was years ago. I'll be honest, I have so many other problems physically.
Ah, but is that
uh,
limited? Is that limited to tin tuna and not fresh tuna?
I mean, as I said, I haven't researched it, so I can't give any definitive. But it was because I mean the association was the sea waters are essentially quite polluted right now
Yeah.
around the world because you just dump all sorts of crap in there. So most sea fish have higher levels of mercury than other types, the river fishes and canals and whatever ponds or whatever we have. So that's why. That's the only thing. It's just like, yeah, just keep an eye on that. I guess I should research it more before reading, but this is not advice. This is not health advice. This is just some shit I heard from someone who told me while I was eating a tin of tuna.
Don't worry, Bansi. I've put it in the description, and it's always going to be there in these lives. Have I not put it in the description? No, I've put it in the post anyway. That none of us are experts. We're merely talking about stuff that we see and hear and read and all the rest. Now, someone in the live chat, knee legs, that's Geordie for no legs, says sea fish probably have a higher plastic content due to all the microplastics in pollution. So that means that it's not just about mercury.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. It's because actually it's true. Yeah, poor fishes are essentially they've got microplastics that they consume as well. I mean, you guys saw. I don't know. Actually, you may not have. There was a thing quite a few years back now. Two giant sperm whales were found dead. They were just washed up onto the beach, and they were, dead. And when they cut them open, they had these massive barrels of like plastic barrels inside them. It's because they'd swallowed these barrels thinking it was food, and obviously it's just giant plastic barrels that don't dissolve and didn't go anywhere. They've just been sitting in their stomach, and these fish essentially these whales, sorry, they starved to death because their stomach was always full, so they just didn't have that feeling of eating. So they just stopped eating and they starved to death because of these bloody giant plastic barrels in their gut. It was like, it's insane.
Yeah, they dump so much crap in the seas, don't they?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how much crap we've just... And not to mention, back in the day, they used to dump toxic waste in there as well. All these companies with their chemical companies, shampoo and makeup and all these other chemical companies. They used to just dump their toxic waste just straight into the sea. Just no shits given. Just, yeah, it's all right. just pour it in here, lads.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think back to the kind of crap we did, it's amazing. We used to put lead in paint that would paint the interior of your house where your children would lick the goddamn walls.
Yep.
We used to put
asbestos. Yeah.
We used to put that crap in your loft.
I mean, how many people has that killed? Like, teachers and pupils at school.
Oh my God.
Office space.
The amount of people that have just... And we're like, why is cancer getting so prevalent in the West? Maybe it's all the crap you're putting inside your house that are toxic.
That's another discussion as well. Toxic load for sure. Knee Legs has added that tin tuna contains 0.12 to 0.35 ppm of mercury per tin, according to Google. Gosh.
There you go. So there is something to it, to the mercury thing. I just didn't want to be like definitive about it. But yeah, there's definitely... So you just got to be a bit more wary. Although fish is still, I think, one of the best options. I mean, look at the Japanese. They tend to live like 1,000 years, most of these guys. And they look 25. So maybe there's something about that.
Well, going back to food, I mean, eggs, right? We've covered fish, that you would have to get some pretty special fish. You would have to spend a fortune to be able to get some as tiny amounts, really, compared to what you would get from supplements. In that video, did he say what percentage can be taken in, like ingested?
I don't know about what percentage. He said between 1,000 to 2,000 IU is what you actually need to keep your levels. Essentially, if you're in that range, you don't have vitamin D deficiency. I'm not sure. I mean, with pills, it's actually quite easy. It tells you anyway on the tin.
Well, can we trust what's on the tin of those pills, though, when we look at
Yeah.
that side of the world that we're not going to say the BP word of? Um,
Yeah.
you know, so I wonder if you can absorb UV rays through your skin and your body converts that, I assume, into hormone D. How, like, that goes into it, and it's not a liquid, it's not a powder, it's not a tablet, it's a frequency, isn't it? UV rays.
Mm.
So how can you consume a frequency and get from a powder or a liquid or something like that the same thing? Are you actually consuming the same thing? It's weird to me. It just
Yeah, when
doesn't
you think
add
about
up.
it, it's strange.
Yeah, I mean these foods, by the way, that I put up, they did actually have the IU levels. Like the eggs are 43.5 IU. I would presume is per egg. Having 2 to 3 large eggs will help you have 50% of recommended daily intake of vitamin D. So like there's cod liver oil has 450 IUs. So I think getting some cod liver oil tablets. I mean, a friend of mine, he swears by cod liver oil anyway because of the omega 3 and all the rest, and he was raised on that. And I'm talking about not this pill, this nice sort of pleasant little plastic pill thing that he drink that you can take. His mother spoon fed them like the old school cod liver oil with the stinkiness and the horrific, just everything
Yeah.
horrific about it. But yeah, he says I can spoon eat cod liver oil without even thinking about it. My mum just forced us all to do it, and that's got 200, 500, 450 IUs. So really, 1 or 2 tablets a day literally gets your daily allowance, maybe even one, and some eggs. It's not it's not bad, you know. You gotta look into this cod liver oil thing. Um,
There
I mean the
is there
rest.
is some controversy about cod liver oil, though. Like I've heard in the carnivore groups that there's something that's a negative about consuming it. So I'm not sold on whether you should actually take that or not as well. In that form. Of course, like when you consume the fish, you've got all and the oil, you've got the rest of it, you've got the protein and everything like that. Isn't it supposed to be consumed in that balanced form as opposed to just a load of the oil?
Just the oil, yeah. I mean, I suppose, obviously, from my perspective, eating the food is always a better option than taking the pill, because obviously these pills are extracts, and God knows what process they used. Who knows if they even want to pad out the oil by injecting just, I don't know, friggin' sunflower oil into it. I mean, who's really? How many of you have actually taken one of these cod liver oil capsules and opened it up and smelled it to see if it's real cod liver oil? Nobody does.
No.
It could be sunflower oil for all we know, vegetable oil. But
Washing up
so
liquid.
well, I think that
Could
would
be
that
anything.
would be a bit of a tell. But generally, yeah, I mean, it's how pure is it? Because that was it's a friend of mine years ago gave me a recipe for a particular tea that you can make in order to raise your cognitive ability, to raise your IQ. In fact, to some extent, maybe even like a point or two, you could even raise your IQ. But certainly get rid of things like a brain cloud that you might get during the day, especially lethargic sort of feelings after lunch. This tea, I tested it out. It works. It works. Don't get me wrong. It's 27 different teas, and it costs me like a couple of £100 to accumulate the teas. It's not cheap to keep up, but I tested it for about a month, and it doesn't. I mean, obviously, it doesn't. It's not just the tea. It comes with a certain other regimental things you have to do at night, where you get a good 6, 7 hours, 7 hours of proper sleep. Try to get some good REM sleep, as well as the tea. And I found myself being sharp as a button during the day. During the day, especially after lunch, I used to just like become lethargic, especially if you have a heavy lunch, and just my productivity at work would go down to almost zero. Whilst with this thing, goddamn, it was like cocaine. I was on top of the world. I was like, what the hell am I drinking? But this is good stuff. No brain cloud, sharp as a bell, just, awake and just, ready to go. So it worked. I'll be honest, I haven't done it in years because, as I say, I have to go buy all the bits and bobs. But it food, actual teas, because these were tea bags. They weren't, I know, not just teas, but there was sort of loose leaf teas as well, and also included matcha, but matcha, proper organic matcha, not some of these crappy tea bags that they sell you at Tesco's. So
Yeah.
I had to actually, because of the stuff that he gave me, because they were so expensive, because they were proper organic sourced stuff. These were not we weren't messing around. The different teas that he gave me, matcha was one of them. Cat's claw. What else was there? There was a few other things. Also, there was one supplement which was coenzyme Q10, which is also extremely good for your cognitive ability. Anyway, my friend he's just a bit of a psychopath about his IQ. He wants to constantly raise his IQ. But it does work. So if you do consume food in that way, I think it generally is better than just chugging pills. I try to avoid the pill form of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is where that guy said that you would have to consume a lot of the food, and it's just impossible because you wouldn't be able to eat that many fish in a day, and so on and so forth. Neil Eggs has said if you place mushrooms on a well lit windowsill for a day, they act like a sponge and absorb the vitamin D. Now, with about that, you need to turn the mushrooms upside down so it's under the hood, the top bit, like the
Yeah.
actual toadstool. It's those under bits. They absorb the UV rays, but it makes a very short lived source of vitamin D2, not vitamin D3. It's a different type of vitamin D, and it doesn't last in your system very long. It doesn't have the impact of your body being able to produce hormone D, as far as I know. But I think we're probably going to come across information on that sort of thing, like the differences between what they call vitamin D3 and vitamin D2 as we do go further into this topic, I think.
I mean, I was thinking whilst the documentary was on, would a UV lamp, these sun lamps, suntan lamps, tanning lamps,
Yeah.
would they create the same effect as the sun, or does it have to be the sun? Could you actually get one of these lamps and just sort of, sit under it for half an hour a day or something?
Well, definitely not half an hour a day on UV rays. They do have a limit on them. Your maximum is 20 minutes, and you're not
Okay.
allowed to use it for at least 24 hours later. Otherwise, you risk overexposure to radiation. But it does help your body to be able to produce hormone D because you're lying there naked on you've got all these light bulbs down your back and light bulbs down your front, and your body is absorbing those UV rays, and then your body converts that into hormone D, as far
Okay.
as I know. But I think there's other things that your body needs to be able to produce the hormone D. Like if there's other things that you're lacking while you're taking those UV rays in, your body still might not produce enough hormone D, I think. And this is where I get confused. Like, if your body produces hormone D, how can it ingest it?
Well, your skin. I mean, I say your body is. I guess it must somehow. must seep into your system. I mean, it must just. I don't know. I don't know. This is. I guess you have to go and find out about how your skin absorbs these things, or your. And because if it's a hormone, then it's not like it needs to go through your arteries and vein, through your blood and stuff. It's a hormone, isn't it? Doesn't that just simply react into your body, and then feed all the various organs that it needs to feed, your livers and muscles and stuff. By the way, that thing he said about muscle twitching, I get that. I definitely get that from time to time, not regularly, but yeah, definitely. And I think that's vitamin D deficiency.
I
So
wonder
yeah.
about that because you can get that if you're not consuming enough electrolytes. Now, electrolytes are certain minerals like, say, calcium, potassium, and magnesium, which are, and other trace minerals, which you're supposed to consume for your body to be able to distribute the energy in, around all of the muscles. Right? So if that energy isn't getting around to all your muscles, you can start having spasms and twitches and stuff like that. So it's hard to tell whether it's, how would you know if what you're experiencing is down to not enough electrolytes or not enough hormone or vitamin D? I'm still not, it's still murky whether it's vitamin or hormone D to me. But do you know what I mean? Like, how would you know?
Ravioli just wrote something really interesting. You said that your body actually requires you need to be exposed to UVB rather than UVA, which is what those lights provide to create
Yeah, it's just a
vitamin D.
Google search on it. Yeah, I just looked at that part, put it in there.
So that means they don't actually sitting in front of a UV lamp or sunbed or whatever doesn't actually do anything for you vitamin D wise. You're not going to really get it.
Yeah, that's what it said. There was one other type of light though. And there's another. Hang on, it said. It says some solariums offer special lamps with a proportion of UVB radiation that can actually stimulate the formation of vitamin D. However, this depends to a large extent on the solarium equipment and the duration of the exposure. But be aware, both UVA and UVB rays cause cell damage, which can lead to skin melanoma and accelerated skin aging.
Yeah. That was the biggest thing about this whole sunshine thing. Is the fact is that although yes, you need sunshine to sort of initiate vitamin D production, you're also gonna get skin cancer.
Yeah.
Well, that in itself is murky because there's also different theories that it's not actually the sun, it's some of the products that you use to try and block out the sun. But I think that we would have to look into at a later date because I want to go back to whether it's a hormone or it's a vitamin and stuff like that. Because that was a short video. I've found an article which might help us. I'm not sure how much in this might be useful. I'm going to screen share it and we'll go through it and see if this.
One other thing I heard about the whole sunshine and taking in sunshine, by the way, is it's not enough if you're just out with your head exposed and your arms exposed. You do need a full body exposure to the sun. It's people who think they've got that working man's tan with the with the arms tan and the torso is all white. That's not good enough. You have to actually be properly exposed. Your back, your front, all that.
I wonder what the evidence on that is because there's a lot of different takes, isn't there? We're going to have to explore that as well, I think. And what would it be different with more of nature's sunblock in their skin, like melanin in their skin, or not as well? I'm not so sure that we can just put it as a sweeping statement on all of mankind. Like there's some people who can deal with the sun a lot better than, say, me, who I'm pretty much white. I'm whiter than
transparent.
A milk bottle. See me, I'm blue, like Billy Connolly white. Do you know what I mean? So Yeah, like I mean, I could probably just easily burn to a crisp in 5 minutes compared to someone who has more melanin in their skin, and
Yeah.
therefore they can deal with it a lot better than me, right? So I wonder if that would have a difference. But this anyway brought it up, and this is by yourhormones.info. You and your hormones, right? So it says vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone produced by the kidneys that helps, so it's produced by the kidneys that helps to control the concentration of calcium in the blood and is vital for the development of strong bones. Alternative names for vitamin D: calcitriol or 1.25 dihydroxyvitamin D, uh, ergocalciferol, vitamin D2. All right. So that's the one I heard of that you can make with mushrooms. What's it? Cholecalciferol, vitamin D3, calcidiol, which is 25 hydroxy vitamin D. Right. So this is getting a bit technical, isn't it? Those big words, big words for me.
Chemistry class. Like,
Don't go science. Why did I choose this as a topic? Right. Okay. You see, so it's just as punishing for me as it is for you guys.
no, it's good.
What is vitamin D? Vitamin D is actually a hormone rather than a vitamin. It is required to absorb calcium and phosphate from the gut into the bloodstream. Vitamin D is mostly produced in the skin in response to sunlight and is also absorbed from food eaten. About 10% of vitamin D is absorbed this way. Right. So 10% of your daily requirement, shall we say, would be from food. So that means 90%, does it? Needs to come in from the sun because we've got food, UV rays meaning the sun, and we've got supplements. So we put supplements and food together, right? So that's what you consume, what your body's going to ingest through the gut. That's your 10%. So you need to take 90% in from the sun. Yeah.
I never actually knew any of this, Lieutenant. This is quite interesting. I didn't know, like, about the hormone part, the active hormone. I never knew that ever.
Yeah, it's important to know, isn't it? Because like we've got like human beings, we are complex creatures. So we've got to learn like how to manage ourselves. How can we manage ourselves if we don't know the root cause of the issues that we have and why we react the way to things that we react to in a seemingly irrational way and all the rest of it. So we've got to control ourselves, but how can we if we don't really know anything about it? So yeah. So 10% is what you consume. So that leaves 90% you have to take in from the sun, right? So where was I? Vitamin D is mostly produced in the skin in response to sunlight and is absorbed from food eaten. About 10% of vitamin D is absorbed this way as part of a healthy, balanced diet. The liver and kidneys convert vitamin D produced in the skin and taken up in the diet into the active hormone. The liver and kidneys convert vitamin D. Oh, so you absorb the UV rays, your skin turns it into vitamin D, and you take 10% of your vitamin D comes in through your diet, and the liver and kidneys turn that into active hormone, right, which is called calcitriol, which is the 1.25 dihydroxyvitamin D. Active vitamin D helps to increase the amount of calcium the gut can absorb from food into the bloodstream and also prevents calcium loss from the kidneys. Vitamin D modifies the activity of bone cells and is important for the formation of new bone in children and adults. So if we've got optimal levels, our bones potentially could repair themselves a lot better, like say from fractures and breaks and things like that, would you say? Okay.
Would it make the bones more dense too, like more density?
Yeah. As you get older, you get like, brittle bone
Yeah.
and all of that. So
Yeah, osteoporosis. Yeah. Now, about that, I've been told wearing a weighted vest forces your body to strengthen the bones because you're carrying an excess weight, not just your own weight. So I wonder if you've got to make sure that your hormone D levels are optimal for that to actually happen. Because
Yeah,
it
that makes
sounds like
sense.
it's the hormone D that gets that you need. Let's go back to it. I'm not getting my head around this. Active vitamin D helps to increase the amount of calcium the gut can absorb. All right, so if you've got optimal levels of hormone D and you're taking in the correct amount of calcium, your gut's going to absorb it all into the bloodstream and is going to modify the bone cells and make it possible for when your growth hormones kick in, which happens when you're carrying that excess weight, for your body to strengthen the bones with those bone cells that you've just made with all of that I
So
just read that I've still got
am I
my head
right in
around.
thinking this? Like, so if you don't have good levels in a vitamin D, then even calcium in your phosphates can't be even absorbed. Then, so if those well, those you could be deficient in them as well.
Yeah, because even if you're consuming the right amount,
Yeah,
if you haven't got enough hormone D,
yeah,
then your body's not going to ingest that. It's just going to pass through
yeah. So
or
all those other
possibly go somewhere that it shouldn't go and have a negative impact on you.
yeah, it's pretty key, isn't it? So it's not even just vitamin D for itself, but for all the other bits too. For all those other ones, it's important in all them, the calcium and the phosphate as well.
Yeah. Okay. How is vitamin D controlled? A fall in the concentration of calcium in the bloodstream is detected by the parathyroid glands, which produce parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid hormone increases the activity of the enzyme catalyst that produces active vitamin D. This increase in the concentration of calcium together with vitamin D feeds back to the parathyroid glands to stop further parathyroid hormone release. The production of vitamin D is also directly regulated by calcium phosphate and calcitriol. I've never heard of a parathyroid hormone before, so that's just baffled me even more.
Aren't those the things near the parathyroid? Yeah, in the neck, aren't they? Those glands around the
yeah,
thyroid.
yeah, I've heard of like people who use the excuse of why they're fat or it's a thyroid issue.
Definitely not too much pizza.
Yeah, no. That's why the funny thing is that people in like the third world never seem to have any thyroid problems. Their thyroids are just fine. That's because
They
they don't
don't
have any
have
pizzas.
access to reduced to clear almond croissants from Tesco either, do they?
That's why. That's why.
They
When you have to walk 15 miles to bring a bucket of dirty water to drink, it
Oh,
seems to
come
take care
on.
of your
I'm
leg
telling you
days.
what, that water can't be that bad because that kid hasn't aged a day in those adverts
Oh my god, yeah.
since
Yeah, or the
1983.
you know, you know,
I'm
exactly.
thinking I might be moving to Africa.
Telling you, all these people with thyroid issues, we should send them to Ethiopia for a
Yeah,
week,
yeah, just
Somalia
go
for
to
a month.
Africa, will you?
Yeah, a
For
couple of months
goodness
in
sake.
Somalia, and all the thyroid issues seem to vanish. Forget
You can live
Ozempic.
you can live young forever. That kid's been sitting at the well for
Oh
30
man,
years.
not good.
I know it's 43 years, but never mind.
Oh yeah, Banksy. Did you say Ozempic then? Sorry, did you say that? Yeah. No, it's funny.
So there's no.
Yeah. Sorry,
Go
I
on,
got
go
a
on.
friend who had that, and I can't believe the results on that. Right,
Is it
That's
good?
bad.
just transformed. Like they were quite chunky before, now they're like a stick. And they're
Damn.
on that.
How long did it take?
10 weeks. 11 weeks. I think lost like nearly 4
10
stone or something.
weeks.
4 stone, 3.5 stone
Christ.
in 11 weeks.
My God, that is amazing. That's some impressive stuff. I gotta.
Yeah, I couldn't, because I didn't know what to think of it. I thought it was like a myth, right, or like just some story. But no, it's real, empowering, whatever that is. I don't know. I couldn't.
Damn. Yeah, man. Yeah, either that or 2-3 years in Dagestan,
Oh, yeah.
and they'll be good. I don't know if you've seen that meme.
I'll check it out.
No.
Oh, it's an MMA meme, because all of these fighters, you know, Khabib and all these other guys who come from they come from Dagestan in
Right.
Russia, and every time like there's some guy is it's like a meme now. Every time like if your son is a little bit too flamboyant and he's a little bit too LGBT, 2-3 years in Dagestan, he'll be all right. Just send him to Dagestan; they'll make a warrior out of it.
I saw a picture that could be or video. He was he wrestling bears when he was 4 or 5? There's footage of him.
Yeah, Khabib was wrestling little bear cubs when he was like 6, 7, something like that. Yeah, he's been literally training since he could walk.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to mess with him. He's pretty tough.
He can't have been hormone D deficient.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty cold up in Russia, the Dagestan parts of Russia, but he was outdoors all the time, so yeah, he probably got plenty of sun.
Okay, let's bring this back in because we read the remaining part of this article. Just being aware of the time because we are going to finish at 10. But when I end stream, you can still hang in the studio and we'll discuss the points that we're going to agree to research for the next time we come back to this.
Okay, yep.
This topic, yeah? So we'll just get through this last part. What happens if I have too little vitamin D? Vitamin D deficiency is common in the UK, probably due to lifestyle changes and lack of sun exposure. It may also occur in cases of diseases affecting the intestine, liver, and kidney, which affect the ability to absorb or process vitamin D. If you have severely low vitamin D levels, you are unable to maintain an adequate concentration of calcium in your blood for bone growth. This causes rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. As the role of vitamin D as a regulator of other functions throughout the body has emerged, it has been suggested that a lack of vitamin D is linked to an inability to fight infections effectively, muscle weakness, fatigue, and the development of diabetes, certain cancers, multiple sclerosis, depression, heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Although the direct relevance and mechanisms underlying these responses remain unknown. Oily fish, such as sardines, mackerel, and salmon, are good dietary sources of vitamin D. Calcium can be found in cow's milk and dairy products. In the UK, foods such as breakfast cereals and margarine are fortified with vitamin D. I would never recommend consuming those things, but back to the point. Adequate exposure to sunlight is important, especially between April and October, for around 15 to 30 minutes daily. Public Health England recommends vitamin D supplements are taken by people in at-risk groups, for example, women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, young children, and those with osteoporosis. And what happens if I have too much vitamin D? This was your question, Ravioli. It is very rare to have vitamin D. If you have too much vitamin D, the level of calcium in your blood may increase, and this causes a condition known as hypercalcemia. Hypercalcemia can cause a number of symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, constipation, tiredness, confusion, depression, headaches, muscle weakness, the need to pass urine more frequently, and feeling thirsty. However, this condition is very rare. So that article, I think's pretty. It's not as detailed as I would like, but it is a good start for a look into hormone D and vitamin D and what they actually are. Do you agree?
You see the messed up thing is, I have the symptoms both of having too much vitamin D and not enough vitamin D. I have all of those things. Those things that he just mentioned at the bottom: nausea, or sorry, feeling tired and headaches and not sleeping. Like, well, I have them,
This
but I
is the
also have
thing.
the other.
This is the thing. When you start looking at things, you start relating to it, and next thing you know, you're convinced like you're dying or something like that. And it's like, no, it could just be something else, couldn't it?
Yeah, but the
Oh,
the thing is, I asked my
sorry,
brother some.
have you got hypochondria? Sorry, Banksy. Could it be
No,
that?
but the thing is, like, I asked my brother, "Oh, dude, I can't sleep well, or I can't." So, oh, you probably have too much. You're not enough salt in your diet. I was like, yeah, but I also have this. Yeah, but you probably got too much salt in your diet. I'm like, which one do I have? How much salt is enough? How do I know? Because I have either too much salt or not enough salt, and I'm getting the same symptoms.
Yeah, and there's different theories, isn't there, all over the place? So maybe that's something else that we could be looking into another time. We've got just under 2 minutes, and then I'm going to be ending stream.
Mhm.
Any final thoughts on what we've looked at today? Very, very briefly, because
Yeah, I
I'll
just
I'll thank everyone for watching, and then we can discuss further once
like
I've
I
ended
need
the stream.
to probably gonna I'll try and research on the hormone part of vitamin D. It being a hormone, I still don't fully understand, but now I've learned something completely new. So I'll probably go away and read into that and try and understand more about that, and then maybe that, and then like try to understand like more about what is a healthy amount to take from food, and these
Okay,
sorts of things. Yeah.
okay. So you've at least took away something that you didn't know
Yeah, I
before.
never
What
ever
about?
knew it was like a hormone. I didn't know how important it was for the calcium and the phosphates and things. I didn't know like
Yeah,
how key it was for the absorption of those. But no, but the bit in my mind still is the how it's considered like a steroid hormone. I never knew that.
yeah.
So yeah, that's why I learned something there.
That's good. And yourself, Banksy? You've
Sorry,
moved.
yes. Yeah, no, all good. Again, I say it was. You're right, Ravioli, in regards to, because you just think it's when they say vitamin, you just think it's some sort of a vitamin that
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
sort of
That's
take,
what I was thinking.
like
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 oh,
like
it's a vitamin.
vitamin
Yeah,
B and all the rest. But
It'll be in
it's actually,
oranges or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I can have
yeah,
2 oranges a day. I'll be fine.
yeah. But the fact is that I guess these vitamin supplements that they're talking, like the tablets, are they providing my body with vitamin D, or are they encouraging my liver or kidneys to produce vitamin D? Because it seems that these, like the sun rays and all of these things, are to produce or get my liver, kidneys to produce this hormone. So it's not
Ah,
like
that's
it's
interesting.
coming in from the outside. It is a activator to put for your liver to produce this hormone. So I mean, yeah, that's the thing. This is what I got from this whole thing: is that it seems that when you're on the sunlight, it's not like the sunlight is seeping in vitamin D into your body. The
Yeah.
rays are activating your liver and your kidneys to produce this
yeah,
hormone.
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So if that's the case, then the supplements I'm taking or the food that I take, are they actually are they introducing vitamin D into my body, or is it just they're agitating or encouraging my liver and kidneys to produce this hormone?
So interesting. Are you actually consuming something that you need to be consuming if your body could actually do all of that
Just,
itself anyway?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just
Okay.
seems,
Well, on
yeah.
that note, I'm going to thank all of who's been
That's all
lurking,
right.
all who have
Thank you for
been in the
inviting me,
live
Telen.
chat.
And
Stay in the studio, guys. I'll end stream. I'll thank everyone for watching, for giving a thumbs up, for subscribing, for leaving a comment, or lurking, trying to get the heads around the information or anything that we've had to say as well. That can be just as confusing. And we shall be seeing you same time, same place next week. God bless.